Hello, my name is Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV. Today, my topic is early preparation, retirement in the Philippines. The biggest thing I remember in 2010, when I first thought about retiring in the Philippines, was getting rid of my stuff. When I lived in America, I just accumulated so many things. My goal was to limit all the things I was going to bring in the Philippines to one suitcase and one backpack because I knew I wanted to travel light here. After I did my recon in the Philippines in 2010, I decided the two places I was going to go was Boracay Island, and if I didn't like Boracay Island, I was going to go to Baguio City. So I knew it was important to me not to have a lot of stuff. That way, if I had to move from Boracay to Baguio City, it's just a matter of packing my one suitcase and backpack, and I would be on my way to Baguio City. I understand some people have an attachment to material things, sentimental value. If you have those items, you can ship those ahead of time in a balikbayan box. Balikbayan box, they don't cost much to ship here in the Philippines. Usually takes about 3 months, especially here in the province, takes longer than if you ship it in Manila, it'll be quicker. But you can pretty much ship anything you want in a balikbayan box. And I know many people do that prior to moving to the Philippines. Because there are a lot of things that when you get here to the Philippines are more expensive. Like let's say you have a lot of power tools. They do have power tools here, but if you already have it in the US, why not ship it? Because when you get here, the power tools are going to be expensive. And a lot of times the power tools here are made in China, so they're less quality. The biggest thing with your early preparation here in the Philippines is what I call recon. Recon of the Philippines. Is when you visit the Philippines. Like for me in 2010, I visited the Philippines and I spent about a month traveling to Baguio City, to Boracay, to Angeles City, to Olongapo City, to Tagaytay. I just toured the Philippines for that 1 month because I was trying to get a feel of what I was looking for in retirement. And that's going to be different for everyone because I know some people prefer living in a city, and then some people prefer to live in a province. Before I came here, actually, I lived in mostly cities in the United States. But now, I'm more a province person. I just love living in the province because it's a simpler life here in the province. Nothing ever happens here. It's a peaceful, quiet existence in the province. But if I had to choose a city here in the Philippines, I am sold on Iloilo City. And that wasn't even in my radar when I was looking for a place to retire here in the Philippines in 2010. I just discovered Iloilo City after going there several times. Dazzle and I, we lived there for 4 months last year. To me, it's just the best city here in the Philippines to retire or live in. It's centrally located here in Western Visayas. From Iloilo City, you can travel to Guimaras Island, you can travel to Bacolod, and that would open you up to travel to Dumaguete City, and then even in Panay Island, Panay Island where Iloilo City sits. You got Antique Province, you got Capiz Province, where Rojas City is, and then Aklan, where Boracay Island is. So plenty to do if you select Panay Island or Iloilo City. When you move here to the Philippines or retire, your biggest expense here will be housing. My recommendation when you're looking for a more permanent place to live here, just stay at an Airbnb for a week or two or even a month, just so you can get a feel of the area where you're going. It's a lot different when you go online, you watch YouTube videos, or even on Facebook, you'll see apartments available on Facebook. It's a lot different once you get here. That's why I always tell people, stay at an Airbnb and then start looking for a more permanent place to live. Because you actually can see the apartment or you can see the house, see the surrounding area. You'll see if there's roosters or if there's noisy tricycles all over. You won't experience that until you go to the apartment or you go to the house. If you're on a retirement budget, like let's say you're retiring here in the Philippines on your Social Security alone, that's where a lot of expats head to the province to live. Because in the provinces, your housing is going to be way cheaper than the city. Like my apartment here in Kalibo, I stayed in that apartment for 4 years, from 2012 to 2016. And my apartment only cost me 7,000 pesos or $120 a month. 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. I'll put a link on the description box of this video because I filmed that apartment so you can see what type of apartment you can get here in Kalibo. And that apartment currently only rents 8,000 pesos. So from the time I rented it in 2012 to 2016, it's only increased in price like $18 a month. Just by comparison, that 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Kalibo, Aklan, it only costs 8,000 pesos a month, or about $135 a month. In comparison, Dazzle and I, last year, we lived in Iloilo City. We rented a condominium, a 1-bedroom condominium at the Uptown Place condominium in Iloilo City. Again, I'll put a link on a video of that condo we stayed in Iloilo City. That condominium cost us 25,000 pesos or about $450 a month. As you can see, it's a big disparity as far as housing when you live in the province and when you live in the city. And I know if you live in Manila, like at BGC, you're not gonna find an apartment in BGC for $450. It's gonna be at least double that price if you plan on staying in BGC in Manila. That's why a lot of expats, when they retire here in the Philippines, they head to the provinces. The only thing to keep in mind though, if you live in the provinces, if you have medical issues, it's probably best that you live close to a city. There's a lot of provinces in Luzon where most of your good medical care in the Philippines is in Manila. So there's a lot of provinces where you can live close to Manila. Like let's say Laguna, you can live in Cavite, you can live in Bulacan. There's a lot of areas that are still rural but close to the city. Like for me, I feel comfortable that Iloilo City is a 4-hour drive from our house here in Numancia, Aklan. We now have an Asia Pacific Medical Center here in Kalibo, so I can get my treatment there. And there's also Panay Hospital here in Kalibo for basic medical care. But if I need a specialist, I'll definitely get my care at Medical City Iloilo in Iloilo City. One of the differences I've noticed with apartments and houses here, even in our province of Aklan, one thing I noticed when I first got here 13 years ago, a lot of your apartments, a lot of your houses, you can rent them just by 1-month deposit and 1-month advance. Like my apartment when I lived in Boracay Island and then my apartment in Kalibo, I never signed a lease. I was just renting month to month. But I have noticed that a lot of landlords now, even here in our province of Aklan, they're wanting you to sign a 6-month lease. Just something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to go over some of the early preparation that I did prior to coming here. Once I decided in 2010, once I went here on my recon, I booked my flight to the Philippines, a one-way ticket in 2011. First thing I did was I bought a new laptop because I knew the laptops here in the Philippines, they are more expensive and the quality is not very good of the laptops that you'll buy here. That's why I bought a laptop in the US. Also, I bought a new cell phone, an unlocked smartphone in the US. So all I needed to do once I get to the Philippines is buy a SIM card and put on the unlocked cell phone, and I was good to go. In 2011, Magic Jack was popular. So I bought a Magic Jack. You basically connected the Magic Jack to your laptop and you actually had a phone. I actually had I bought one of those Walmart phones for like 10 bucks, I think, at the time. And you just connect the Magic Jack and I can call the United States. But I know now they have different apps now that you can install in your phone. So highly recommend that you have that. That way you can still call your friends, you can still call your family in the US, and banks especially. You know, that's an issue sometimes with the banks. I know banking in the US sometimes requires that OTP that they send by text. So that would be something you work out before you get here. That way you know you can access your bank. But now I don't even use the Magic Jack. Now I have WhatsApp is what I use to communicate with people in the United States, and my Messenger. Those are the two phone apps that I use now. My driver's license, before I left Arizona, I went ahead and renewed my driver's license, so it had a long expiration date. I did the same thing with my debit card and credit card with my bank in the US. I requested a new card. That way the expiration was extended. I think at the time it was like 4 years. It was good for 4 years. I also opened an account with Zoom. Zoom is a money transfer. I connected the Zoom with my bank in the US, and then if I need quick money here in the Philippines, I can send myself money using Zoom. And I know what's popular now with a lot of expats that I notice on my Facebook groups. People are really recommending Wise. Because what I heard with Wise is you can send large amount of money using Wise. Below $10,000, of course, because if you send money above $10,000 here in the Philippines, it kind of triggers the IRS and you kind of attract attention. So send 9,900. Don't do anything above $10,000. And I hear this from a lot of veterans that bank with Navy Federal Credit Union. That might be something that if you can open an account with Navy Federal Credit Union, because here in the Philippines, a lot of people that banks with Navy Federal Credit Union, they're able to purchase a brand new car here using the Navy Federal Credit Union. So you're getting good interest rates from the United States. Because here, when you buy a vehicle here in the Philippines, the interest rates here that the banks give you are super high. So if you can open an account with Navy Federal Credit Union in the United States, your car loan here in the Philippines will have a lower interest rate. And I've seen many people do that here. Buy brand new cars here in the Philippines using their account with Navy Federal Credit Union. Another thing that I did when I left the United States was I had a box of checks that I requested from my bank account in the US. With those blank checks, I can just write a check here at my bank at Philippine National Bank in dollars because I have a dollar account with a Philippine National Bank. And it takes them about 30 days to clear the check, but I can move money that way. They do charge me at Philippine National Bank to make that deposit. I think they charge me about $5 now. But that's a good way for me to move a big chunk of money from my bank account in the US to my bank account here in the Philippines. That's another thing. If you are close to a Philippine National Bank in the United States, like let's say you live near New York or you live near Los Angeles, you can open a Philippine National Bank account in the United States. That way, when you come to the Philippines, you already have an account. You already have a dollar account and you already have a peso account. All you would need to do is transfer your account. Like what I did. Once I got to Kalibo, I transferred my account, my Philippine National Bank account from Los Angeles. I transferred it to the Philippine National Bank in Kalibo. My good friend Robbie did that about 2 years ago. He opened a Philippine national bank account in New York. And then when he got here to the Philippines, he can use that Philippine national bank account. Just transfer the bank account to a branch here in the Philippines. Regarding accessing your money here in the Philippines, I just would recommend to have several options, several ways to access your money, like the money transfer, like Wise, Zoom, or Remitly, blank checks so you can deposit a check here. Your ATM will work here in the Philippines, but they charge you a lot on ATM fees. And a lot of times, the banks will only allow you to take 10,000 pesos, so less than $200 at a time. I know people that have Charles Schwab accounts, and they can use their ATM here, the Charles Schwab ATM cards, and Charles Schwab will reimburse you for your ATM fees. It's just best that you have several ways to access your money in the United States. For me, I've always been a runner, so it was important for me to bring some nice running shoes here to the Philippines. 2 pairs of good running shoes that I bought in the US to bring here. Especially if your foot is the larger size, if your foot is like 12 or 14, those are hard to find here in the Philippines. So if you got large feet, you might want to bring extra shoes or flip-flops because you'll have a hard time finding large size shoes and flip-flops here. Also, if you wear big clothes, like let's say you're an extra large in the United States. Let's say you're 6'4", you're tall. Those clothes are hard to find here in the Philippines, especially in the province. If you live here, even at the mall, you're not gonna find a lot of clothes that are extra large, American extra large, because the extra large in Filipino size are smaller. I would probably say like an extra large Filipino size is maybe a medium in US sizes. So if you're a big person, if you're tall, bring extra clothes, shirts and shorts, because you might have a hard time getting that here. Those are just some of the early preparation that you could do. Thank you for your continued support of our channel. Dazzle, Leanna, and I, we truly appreciate your support. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you in our next video.